for COVID. Thank you, COVID. All right, so I'm gonna click on number one. And what you have here is how to look at art. I filmed this, recorded it, and I mean, we may watch a portion of it so you see like the foundations of what I'm trying to create for you guys in 8 days. So step one, you're going to grab your visual art journal. For those of you who do not have one yet, just grab a piece of paper. I'm not going to like, I'd rather accept your assignment however than not get it at all. So any blank piece of paper, the back of your hand, I don't care. Just write down these simple answers. It says take notes on the 4 points. How many points are there going to be, guys?
4.
4.
4. That's right. That's right. 4. Thank you. And then you're going to write down any other notes that you find interesting or important. This is up to you to decide because this is your education, guys. I understand that it feels like everything's spoon-fed to you and you got to regurgitate it, but that's not what I'm about. I wish I had you in my physical classroom right now because there's just so much I want to teach you, not because I'm a teacher and you're a student, but because I feel like, there's so much to know when it comes to what I know. Number 3, write down, okay, I already said that. Number 4, send a pic of these notes to smartinez@psd1.org. Yeah, that's the only way. So this will get you practicing how to like use your email, but that's the first way you submit some work. The rest of them has submit buttons. I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, so you know what? We're not going to watch this. Basically, I'm going to give you a summarized version of what to look at. I was taught this in college, and it didn't make any sense to me because of the drawing of the 4 points. It was this crazy sheet of paper that I kept forever by, I still remember Professor Tom Askman, and he's like, when you look at art, you got to think about this, the price you pay, and this and that. And then when you look at it, ask these million questions. That was too complicated. I've simplified the process for you. Number 1, you just look at it. Look at the artwork. So if you're looking at this piece right here that says "Watch Me," that's actually a spray painted piece by Banksy. I forgot to mention the quote that I had seen before about Banksy and being a child and being creative. I can't remember it right now. But anyways, so Banksy standing there, this little boy is shouting something. But when you look at an art piece, all you have to do is, number 1, just blurt out what you see and don't overcomplicate it. You just shout out the things that you see. So we're going to click on here and we're going to practice. Okay, go ahead, guys. Ignore like all the words, but what do you see in this artwork? Go ahead and just shout it out.
A woman.
Thank you.
A farm.
House.
Farmhouse. Perfect. Keep
Grass.
going. Grass. The grassy field. Yeah. What else?
Sky.
Okay, the sky. Look at that road, kind of like a little dirt road going towards that barn, right? But also don't forget to like shout out and then be okay. So the first part is to be like very basic observant, but then be more observant. Pink, right? There's a pink dress. You know, the sky. What kind of sky is it?
Gray.
Cloudy.
Gray, cloudy. All right. The
Dirty
woman.
sky.
Thank you. Yeah, cloudy sky. What about the woman? Is she standing? What is she doing?
She's laying down, kind of.
Yeah, it's almost like someone pushed her in a way, right? Like it feels like she's recovering from. Look at her hair. Like, what does the hair tell you?
Messy bun.
It's a little messy bunny. I don't know if she did it that way or it's messed up for another reason. I have my own interpretations of this piece. And then what about the era, the time? What time generation is this from? Maybe
1878.
1878, right after the Civil War. Maybe not that far back because I'm guessing this is like maybe. I think it's Andrew Wyeth from like the 30s and 40s. So maybe a little bit like after the start of the 1900s. So maybe the 1800s. It could be from any of those times. I don't know dresses well enough. This and then something that might be able to help you figure this out pretty soon is the title. It's called Christina's World. It's Andrew Wyeth. If you don't know what's going on, you could always search it on your phone or wonderment, and not knowing is actually better than going straight to Google and trying to figure something out, because you can start creating your own story, and that's better than learning the actual story. If you guys want to know, like, you can actually click on here and learn a little bit about Andrew Wyeth's painting. That's just put there as a bonus. You don't have to find out. But you guys just did the first step to analyzing work. It's being observant and learning to be more and more and more and more and more observant over time. You know, initially you do start with, oh, grass, field, woman, house, barn, the end. But there's more. Like, we just kind of triple, quadruple that list. I don't know why I'm eating an orange as I'm having this conversation. But it's good. All right. So the next thing is try to figure out. Yeah, now I'm having a hard time talking with an orange in my mouth. Now you want to figure out what the artist might be wanting to tell you. So it's what you call context. What's text? You do it on your phone. What's text?
Writing, basically, or
Exactly. Yeah. Basically writing. Okay. So con means with. So the art of writing things with writing, you're trying to tell someone something. And when you put words together, you're putting them in a certain order so it makes sense. If I said something like, if you see on my screen, it says, click on the numbers to see each task. But if it said task on the to see, click numbers each, you'd be like, what the heck? Martinez is drunk, right? So context is putting things in the right order so people can read it the right way. You know, if Christina was flipped upside down and the barn was like 50 stories tall, like all of a sudden everything starts changing. So, and the way I describe context is this: if you say, let's eat, comma, grandpa. So let's eat, grandpa. You're inviting abuelito, your grandpa, to go eat. But if you skip out on that comma and you say, let's eat, grandpa, what are you saying?
that you're gonna eat your grandpa.
Exactly. That's context. Oops. All right. So context is everything. And so now you're trying to figure out, when you're looking at artwork, you're trying to figure out, what the heck is this artist trying to tell me? The way I see it is, Christina's doing something she wasn't supposed to out there. Like, she's looking at the house like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. You know, like, how many of us are like given like the whole like deer in the headlights, like, oh crap, gotta go. That's the vibe I always get from looking at this painting. And so the third piece, okay, so once you try to figure out like what the artist is trying to tell you, and you have to use contextual clues, figure out what they put in front of you. Sometimes it's a random painting with random brushstrokes, and it's like not even like a girl or a field or a house, like it's nothing, it's just paint. You still have to try to figure it out. Number 3 is, does it look good to my eye? You know, does it feel right? Is there anything missing? Does it feel like vomit to the eye? It doesn't have to look pretty, but does it feel like anything's missing, or if there's too much of it? But, you know, and another question you could ask when looking at artwork, when it comes to like prettiness or the way it feels and looks, is it unique? So does it feel off in any way, this painting?
It brings curiosity. Like, why did she fall? Or
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Make sure you can look at my frame. But when you're drawing something, let me scoot this up. Stay. So even that looks a little funny in my frame. I'm gonna remove that. That wasn't my example. Here, let me see if I can. If I'm sitting in my frame like this, perfectly in the middle, it looks okay. It looks right. But let me scooch over. Hold on. If I scooch over here, it looks right. Actually, putting this much space in an art piece, it makes sense. The movies are filmed like this all the time. Why? Because it's left so much space for you guys to wonder what's going on behind me, and you start kind of paying attention to what's going on behind me and myself. But if I scooch myself, and I'm talking to you guys from like right here, does that look right? Does that feel comfortable?
not quite.
No. It's like I'm kissing the wall. I don't even have to have a wall for it to be that, like, this is actually a wall. But naturally, let me scoot that over this way. You don't even know there's a wall right there. But if I'm like right here, it looks like I'm about to kiss a wall. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. It feels uncomfortable. So that is the question you're asking yourself. Like, does this piece feel the way it's supposed to feel? Or like, did the artist stop short? Did the artist stop before it was finished? You'll learn to look at that a little bit more as we go. But I hope that visual made a little sense. Fourthly, the last question, and it's actually, I'm going to make this a 5-point statement, so I might have to re-record this. Number 4 out of the 4 points is hold on, got like a little brain fart. So the fourth element that you want to think about is, how can I relate to this piece? You don't have to be Christina. You don't have to wear pink dresses. You don't have to be a woman. You don't have to like live out in the field, in the farm. But what about this piece? Anything at all can take you back to who you are, your personal experiences. Like try to relate it to it in some way, whether it be like, oh man, like I remember driving all the way to Walla Walla and it was just like nothing but fields the entire time. That's where this painting takes me to. Or, oh, the last time I saw a pink dress was in the painting. Hang on, I'm making this up as I go. In that movie Schindler's List. And oh man, like the Nazis and all this other stuff. Or you could say like cloudy day, man. I can't wait to get out of winter. You know, like that cloud makes me feel gloomy. Or grass. Oh man, I remember the last time I rolled down a hill. Or yeah, just anything at all. It doesn't have to be what I just mentioned, but you have to find some kind of connection. Try to relate to it. The last way you can relate to an art piece, so this isn't mentioned in the video, or maybe it is, I don't remember. But a good way to relate yourself to this video is, or to any art pieces, if I was the artist, what would I paint? Or, you know, like how would I rearrange this if I was the artist? That way you're really, really connecting to the art piece, but you got to just find some kind of connection to a piece. I don't know, or I don't connect to this in any way is not an answer. It's a mental exercise for you to try to figure out how you relate to it. All right, so those are the 4 points. You'll get to watch the video. I guess you should have just watched the video. Oh, someone's drawing on my screen, I think. I didn't realize you could do that. So art, what is it, is the next task. Really, I'm not going to talk about all of it, but here you have the anatomy of my modules, my assignments. You do have a submit assignment button. If you're struggling with submitting projects after you're done working on them, so really what you're going to have to do is, let's say your assignment is painting a color wheel. Okay, the next thing you're going to have to do is take a picture of it. You can use your webcam camera. See if I can line this up. And you snap a picture and you submit it. Or you take your phone, you know, snap a picture and then submit it through your phone app. A couple of different options. You could, if you're struggling with this, you can always email it. I prefer it through this button, but I'd rather get it than not. Let me show you what that looks like. I just clicked on submit. Now it's asking me to load a file. You just click on choose a file. And then let's say you just wrote this assignment, or let's say this is your assignment. You choose it, and you submit it. That's it. If you have multiple files, add another file, choose it, submit, and you just add a bunch of files and then submit the assignment. All right, and then don't forget to hit that submit assignment. So let's go back to day 1. Oh, no. It's down page. The anatomy of each one of my assignments. You're going to get a title. I'm trying to be better about this, but most of them will say like what you have to complete in that assignment. So right here it says respond to think questions. And then it also says number 2, sketch and respond to questions related to the painting by Jennifer Warren. So here you just want to think. Here's a response. It says respond to the following questions in your visual arts journal. If you don't have it, just on a blank piece of paper, that's fine. Down below is an art piece. Here you get to practice those 4 points that we just talked about. So make sure that you draw this out, sketch. It should be like a 2-3 minute sketch. Don't spend 10 hours on it. It's just a sketch. It says view the artwork above, sketch it in my journal, and then lastly, answer these questions that follow. And there's 4 questions related to the 4 points, and then that's it. You submit your work on that submit button. To the last anatomy that I want to show you is this. It says back to day 1 and back to home. Home takes you to like all 8 days. Back to day 1 takes you back to Andrew Wyeth's painting of Christina's World. So I've tried to add these buttons to help you navigate a little bit more easy. If things are confusing, let me know. But it also takes a little bit of practice to get used to it.